What's going on, baseball fans? How you doing? The Giants are making some moves. Seiya Suzuki could be MLB bound rather soon. The Angels are once again in business. We're going to talk about it all tonight. Let's get to it. And what is going on, baseball fans? Hello. Right around 35 people to start things off. Not really too much going on today in the world of baseball, except for a couple of teams, the San Francisco Giants and the LA Angels. And we're going to talk about another player who is could be coming to Major League Baseball rather soon. So not really too much to talk about tonight. This will be kind of a quick one for tonight. Again, nothing really to sink your teeth into, except for a couple of signings, maybe soon-to-be signing, and a player that we could be seeing rather soon as well. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a good start to their week. Hope everyone is excited for Thanksgiving. I am rather excited. My fluffy, obese self is always excited for Thanksgiving. So, hey, it's the season of being thankful, and I am thankful to be here with you. Every single night we talk baseball. So, again, hope you're all doing well. Before I do get started, hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 20K. The goal is 20K by opening day. So hit that subscribe button for me if you are looking for more baseball news and content. Hit that like button for me. That's going to help get this stream out there to more baseball fans. Hit the bell notification. Share the stream as well. Or share any other content. I actually just uploaded a video a couple hours ago, so if you have yet to see it, go check it out. It's a video on which players I think teams should sign, not who they will sign, but who they should sign. So if you got nothing to do later, go check it out. Alrighty, everyone, we are just going to dive right into it tonight. Not really going to waste too much time. Again, a bit of a quick stream tonight. Nothing too long. But let's get the music going here. So first story, hey, the San Francisco Giants, they're making some moves. They're trying to bring the team back to as close as you can to as what it was this past year. They will be losing a couple of guys, but they're making an effort to keep some core guys around. And if we take a look here, Anthony Desclafani is returning to San Francisco, and it's looking like Alex Wood is rather close as well. And we'll talk about another guy that they seem to be in deep talks with. We'll talk about him in a second. But let's talk about these two really quick. These guys were very vital for the San Francisco Giants last year. I mean, hey, they had the best record in Major League Baseball. They made it, all the way down to the wire against the Dodgers in Game 5, in which, you could argue out of any series in the playoffs, I mean, that might have been the most exciting series. That was two heavyweight teams going back and forth, and in the end, the Dodgers came out on top. But they're making the good moves here to keep their rotation in as much intact as possible. So Anthony Desclafani is a good place to start. So it's going to be a 3-year, $36 million contract. Anthony Desclafani was a really solid piece for the Giants last year. Hey, solid like 3-4 in your rotation, 31 starts, a 3.17 ERA, 13-7 record, almost 170 innings pitched. Not going to give you a ton of strikeouts, but he's just going to give you effective innings overall. Even that FIP looked really good, a 3.62 FIP. A very solid year for Anthony Desclafani, but it's not just him. It's not just him. It's looking like Alex Wood, the lefty, could be heading back to San Francisco as well, as they are nearing a 2-year deal worth around $10 million. So, or actually, is this $10 million? We'll pay Wood more than $10 million. Okay, so It's looking like a 2-year, over $20 million deal. So let's actually check Fangraphs. Fangraphs, they came out with their top 50 free agents. And let's go take a look here. They not only came out with their top 50 free agents, but they also put what they thought were their contract values. So let's do a little control F here. Let's go to Anthony Desclafani. So they have him ranked number 36 on their list. So Ben Clemens of Fangraphs is thinking that Anthony Desclafani was worth, 2 years, $10 million per year. Well, the Giants gave him an extra year. They gave him that, and they gave him a little more per year as well. So again, that ended up, 36. So they gave him $12 million per year. So right around what the average crowdsource thought, around 2.5 years, around $13 million. So this right here seems to be what the consensus was. So Ben Clemens kind of a little under there. I actually thought that was a little low for an Anthony Desclafani. So I think overall, I think that's a good deal. And also what you can do is you can go, one thing I actually really enjoy about Fangraphs is you can go look at their values based off of how they played. So if you go to a player's page, you can click on value right here. And at the very bottom, as you can see here, Anthony Desclafani, the way he pitched this past year, he was worth $24 million this past season. But, with Anthony Desclafani, not too much of a track record overall. Throughout his career, he has totaled out to around $93 million in value. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. So if you did 93 divided by 7, that comes right out to around $13 million per year. So I think that's a good deal for Anthony Desclafani. $13 million or $12 million per season. I think that's fair for him. And then for Alex Wood, if we take a look at Alex Wood, let's see what his value was this past season. And looking at his stats, actually, let's take a look here. Overall, 26 starts, right around 140 innings, a 3.48 FIP. I mean, very good. Very good. I mean, not going to blow you out of the water by any means, but just solid innings, effective innings. There were times, yeah, sure, he did get hit around a little bit, but overall, he just gave valuable innings for this team. And let's actually go check his value as well. So it's looking around maybe like 2 years, let's just say 2 years, $20 million. Alex Wood overall, he's actually had himself some pretty valuable years. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So $127 million. Divided by 9. So he's averaged around $14 million per season. So I'd say that's kind of fair. I'd say maybe a little less than that, but let's say he ends up getting like 2 years, 24. I think that ends up being pretty fair for an Alex Wood. So overall, I like the moves to the Giants. If we take a look here at their current rotation, well, actually, so since the deal is not done yet with Alex Wood, the depth chart on Fangraphs has not updated yet, but Logan Webb currently is the ace. Anthony Desclafani is the number 2. Alex Wood, to me, I look at Alex Wood as like a 4 or a 5 in your bullpen on a team deep with pitching. You could see him as a long reliever, but as of right now, you're looking at him as probably the number 3 in your rotation. So actually, if we take a look here at the rankings, the Giants currently, according to the projected numbers for next season, they only ranked number 22. I mean, I know these are just projections, so you're not necessarily going to hit on all of these, but it gives you kind of a good ballpark, rough estimate of how they're going to perform based off of how they have performed. So, and based off of just past numbers and how projections have their own little algorithms on how they can project moving forward. So with Logan Webb, Anthony Desclafani, Logan Webb is actually projected to have himself a pretty solid year next year. A 4-win picture for next season. I actually think Logan Webb can be even better than that. I think you could see Logan Webb maybe even be like a 6-win pitcher. Not like 6 wins in his record, but like a 6 wins above replacement pitcher. I think Logan Webb has that in him. I see a lot of just Greg Maddux in a Logan Webb. I love watching the guy pitch. Just fantastic. But Desclafani, I think you'd see maybe like 2 to 3 wins for Anthony Desclafani. So bring back an Alex Wood, and you're making some progress. Now, what happens here with a Kevin Gausman? Now, this is the big question. Now, I think you got to do what you can to bring back Kevin Gausman. This guy was so good for you last year and in 2020 as well. Took a chance on himself, and he's going to get paid. Now, the question is, are the Giants going to pay him? If we go take a look at his value, let's kind of see here. He was worth, according to his numbers this year, he was worth $38 million this past year. Of course, he's not going to get $38 million per year. But if you take a look, kind of just average out the numbers. I like to average out these numbers, I guess, because you maybe like kind of like a rough estimate. So overall in his career, around 158 million. So he's had how many years? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. So let's do 158 divided by 9. So yeah, 17.5 million on average. I could see Kevin Gausman maybe getting like 19, 20 million per year just because of the market. Teams I could see wanting Kevin Gausman. Now, the question is, are the Giants going to want to go that route? Or that, I could see Kevin Gausman maybe getting like 4 years, 5 years. I don't know, maybe like 110 million, something like that. Let's see what Fangraphs thinks. Let's see what they think here. Let me go. What ended up happening here? Let's go to okay, I just lost the page. Fangraphs. I can't type. Top 50. So Gausman, I believe they have him as at least a top 10. No, top 15. So they have him at 18 million per season. Ben Clemens thinking 3 years. I don't know. Ben Clemens, I feel like you're being a little conservative here, my friend. I think you're going to, if you're Kevin Gausman, you're going to get more than 3 years. I think you're going to see a team. I think teams are going to want to maybe go 4, but I think you're going to see a team go that 5th year with him just to be able to get him. So, again, the median crowdsource is thinking around 4 years. I could see 4 with an option, something like that. But so we're looking here. The median is like thinking, again, 4 years, 19 million, just like I said, and then 76. I don't know. I could honestly see like a 5-year, $100 million deal. I could really see something like that. I think a team could go that route. Now, the question is, will the Giants want to go that route? Well, let's take a look at the Giants. Let's look at their payroll. Not a lot of money really. They got a lot of money to play with here. 114 million as of right now on their payroll. That's not bad. And you look at all these contracts, they got Brandon Belt. He's coming back for this year. Now, the question is, he is 33. He's going to be 34 by next season. So, do you want to get him locked up? I don't know. What do you do with the Brandon Belt? Longoria, he's going to be a free agent. I don't think they're not going to exercise that club option. Crawford, you're going to have for a couple more years. Again, Desclafani, you just signed him up for a few years. Now, they don't have a lot of big contracts here. So, the Giants are actually in pretty good shape in terms of, long-term deals. They don't really have anything locked up. I could see them being okay with going, 5 years, 100 million for a Kevin Gausman, something like that, because they don't have a lot of money really on the books, especially with any pictures really. When you look, there's no. I would imagine maybe Logan Webb. Could you maybe want to get him locked up to some kind of a deal instead of having to go through arbitration? I don't know. You're seeing teams do that. Would you want to do that with a Logan Webb? I think it's possible. He's 25, so maybe you want to do something with him. But overall, the Giants, they're in good shape. I could see them going with a Kevin Gausman. I think that makes sense. He's a really good number 2 guy. I don't look at Kevin Gausman exactly as an ace in your staff. I look at him as just a good number 2, And if you're on like a team with deep pitching, like a really good number 3, but I could see him solid number 2. Logan Webb, Kevin Gausman, good 1-2 punch to top this rotation. I think the Giants should bring him back. Now, the Giants, however, so the talk isn't really on Kevin Gausman at the moment. There's another guy out here, and that is Alex Cobb. Alex Cobb is maybe looking like he's going to be a San Francisco Giant rather soon. So let's go take a look at the story here. Let's get this pulled up. Where is the story? Here we go. So earlier today, it was being reported by Susan Slusser of the San Francisco Chronicle that the Giants are in talks with free agent righty Alex Cobb and appear to be making a strong push to sign the veteran righty. That's not bad if you ask me. Let's go take a look at some Alex Cobb numbers. I think Alex Cobb he's one of the more underrated free agents on this market. Dealt with some health stuff last year, but overall had good numbers. His ERA was a 3.76. Looks kind of middle of the road, but when you take a look at his FIP, it was a 2.92. That Angels team did not have good defense. Not good defense on that Angels team, so they did not help him out a lot. But overall, when you look at these other numbers here, he doesn't give up a lot of home runs, more ground balls than anything, not a lot of walks. Good amount of strikeouts, 9, 10 strikeouts per 9. That's not too bad. I think Alex Cobb, I think he could actually be really successful, especially in that nice, spacious ballpark out there. I would like the addition of an Alex Cobb. If we take a look at his projected numbers, they're projecting him kind of around the same. Again, projections, they tend to be a little more conservative, I find. So they're projecting him 28 starts at 2.4 wins above replacement. Now, I think if he ends up getting 28 starts, especially in that ballpark, when he gives up a lot of ground balls, and you got a pretty good defense there with the Giants. So I think Alex Cobb could end up being a really solid guy. If we take a look at some of his numbers, he actually hasn't had that. Actually, last year with the Angels, actually one of his better seasons. Actually, that's tied for his best season back in 2014 with the Rays. It's funny enough with him, he's never made more than 29 starts. But I could see maybe something like this because that he actually hasn't, beat a 2.5 WAR on Fangraphs. But I think with a good Giants team, if he can stay healthy, I think Alex Cobb could end up having maybe his best season if he ends up going to the Giants. And I think this rotation could actually be pretty good if you ask me. I mean, honestly, let's just imagine, let's say they bring back Kevin Gausman and then you bring in an Alex Cobb as well. That's a really nice rotation right there. You got Logan Webb, Kevin Gausman, Anthony Desclafani, Alex Cobb, and Alex Wood. That's really good. I like that rotation a lot. I think that's just solid if they can stay healthy. I think you'll see that if you bring back Gausman, get Wood signed back up, get that official, bring in Cobb. I think the Giants, they have a top 15 staff, arguably a top 10. So I think it's really good. The Giants right now, they're making all of the right moves. I like this addition of an Alex Cobb. To be honest, I would love Alex Cobb on the Red Sox. I mean, with that defense, he does give up some ground balls, but and the infield defense for the Red Sox isn't too great. I just always look at that Heim Bloom kind of a connection, and the Red Sox could use a starting pitcher. I don't know. Would he end up being good? With the Red Sox, I don't know. But he's actually had success at Fenway Park. I'm not necessarily saying that that's going to translate to success with the Red Sox, but there's a lot of teams he could be a good fit for. I think the Giants could actually be a good fit. Yeah, funny story about Alex Cobb. As you can see here, he went to Vero Beach High School. That actually was my high school's rival high school. I actually watched Alex Cobb pitch in high school. I was on the JV baseball team at the time, and yeah, I got to watch Alex Cobb. He came to our school. He absolutely dominated our team. It was so fun. It was just like there were scouts all over the place. As you can see, he was drafted pretty high that year. Not like high, but 4th round. So I still remember there were just so many scouts at that game. There was guys with velocity guns and everything. He had really good stuff. I still remember that game. Our team got our heinies kicked, but Alex Cobb, I think he gave up like 1 hit, I think, in that game, and it was like some kind of like a dribbler, and the guy beat it out at first. He absolutely dominated. So I have the pleasure of saying that I got to watch Alex Cobb pitch at one point in high school. Pretty funny. Alrighty, so let's move on here. We're going to stay out west. We're going to stay in California. There's another team out there that made, I actually think, a very nice signing. I really enjoy this signing a lot, and that is Aaron Loup. Aaron Loup. What a great signing for this Angels bullpen. Look at the Angels making moves. First thought, you get it started with a Noah Syndergaard, and then you just go right after the bullpen. Right after that. I love it. I love this move. Aaron Loup's had himself a very good season last year. Let me click out of some of these tabs here. I got so many tabs. Does anyone else, they just keep so many tabs open, and you just don't need all these tabs? All right, are we good now? Is that good? Here we go. We're good. But Aaron Loup, a very nice season for him last year. Take a look at these numbers with the Mets. Good grief. A 0.95 ERA, 65 games. Let's take a look at that FIP. 2.45 FIP, 9 strikeouts per 9. He has kind of like that lefty delivery, a little awkward. It's tough on those hitters. I mean, he's been really good. Ever since he went to the Rays, not too long ago, this guy just kind of figured it out. I don't know. When these guys tend to go to Tampa Bay, they tend to figure something out with their pitching. And he went to the Mets and just had himself a really good season. Lasrith Dale just subscribed. Welcome to the channel. Hello, hello. But Aaron Loop, really like this. I like this a lot. Let's go take a look here at the Angels. I can't believe the Angels are actually adding some pitching. Now, my free agent predictions, they're just going terrible right now. What am I right now? Am I 0 for... I think I'm 0 for 4, 0 for 5. I'm off to a terrible start in my predictions. I think I had Anthony Desclafani going to the Padres. Oh, man, what am I doing? I got all these people in the comments saying, oh, man, you haven't gotten one right. Well, I told you in the beginning of that video, I wasn't going to get one of them right. You know why? Because no one knows where the heck these guys are going. I'm just saying, I think they'd be a pretty good fit on some of these teams. But I digress. With the Angels, you're making a couple of decent moves here. Syndergaard in the number 2 spot. I actually read something today about Syndergaard. He was talking about his meeting with the Angels general manager, and they made a nice presentation to Syndergaard over dinner, saying that they saw something in his delivery mechanically that they think they can fix, and they laid out just something to where they can keep him healthy and they would get him ready for the market next year, and blah blah blah. I thought that was pretty interesting to read. I wonder, do the Angels actually do they actually really see something where they can, I would imagine they do, or they at least have a good opinion on what they could do to help fix him. So, it was funny because the Angels general manager, he said to Noah Syndergaard that he hadn't put more scouting into any player other than Syndergaard. I thought that was really, ever. He said Syndergaard was the most scouting he has done on one player before. I thought that was really interesting. So, anyway, did like the move there. If he can stay healthy, if he can get himself, back on track, you got a pretty decent, and if Ohtani can stay healthy as well, 1-2 punch atop the rotation. Who knows? Reed Detmers can maybe take a step forward this year. Went through some growing pains last year, but that guy's talented. So the Angels, if they can add another starter, I think they might have something. I really do. I think if they can add a third guy, I think, and you got Reed Detmers as your 4th guy, I think you have something here if you're the Angels when it comes to the rotation. But that bullpen with Raisel Iglesias, I would imagine he's going to be moving on. They offered him the qualifying offer, so good for him, or good for them if he ends up signing elsewhere. They get a draft pick out of it. I would imagine he's going to want a multi-year deal. But Aaron Loop, I like it. I do like this move a lot for them. It's a nice setup guy. It's a different look out of that bullpen. I like it. They got some younger guys in this bullpen. They're gonna have to take a step forward. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. But I like the addition of a veteran guy out there. You're probably losing a veteran guy in a Raisel Iglesias, but I like the addition of an Aaron Loop. Again, great numbers. He just that awkward delivery. He's gonna be tough on those lefties. I like it. I like it a lot. So the Angels, right now, really, could you say the Angels are? Could you say they're right now the current leaders of this offseason? Could you say maybe they're an early winner this offseason right now? They got a lot of work to do. They need to add some defense to their team. And also, they actually just brought in Tyler Wade. I don't know if anyone noticed that. Brought in Tyler Wade. He got waived. Or not waived. He got designated for assignment by the Yankees, so they picked him up. So hey, look at Tyler Wade on the Angels. I like that move. That's going to give them some speed. That's going to give him. I don't think he's going to be the starting shortstop, but who knows what they end up doing here? Could you put David Fletcher at short? Maybe, or go after a second baseman as well, or bring in one of these shortstop. I think Trevor Story would be a nice fit. Him and that glove out there. I think that would be a nice fit overall. But overall, I like what the Angels are doing right now. I really do. You can't hate it. They're making moves. That's what they're just making moves for pitching. That's what everyone's been wanting for how long now? The Angels just making moves, bringing in pitching. Who would have thought? The Angels bringing in pitching. Who would have thought? Anyway, but let's move on from there. We have here a guy. He is going to be a free agent rather soon. I'm actually really intrigued about this guy. Last year, we had a Japanese pitcher, Sugano. He ended up he never was able to reach a deal with the team, so he ended up going back to Japan. But this year, we got a guy with a pretty good bat, and that is Seiya Suzuki. He is going to be posted, and I think a team is going to jump on this guy. I would imagine there's a lot to like about him. Let's go take a look here. Seiya Suzuki. So this was posted this morning. They were saying he's going to be posted tomorrow morning, according to John Heyman. That's going to open up a 30-day window for teams to negotiate with him. So, like I said, you remember with Sugano last year, that 30-day window ran out. No team was able to reach a deal with him. So he ended up going back to Japan. So, I mean, I haven't heard anything about Sugano. I forgot. Would he be allowed to come back this year, or was there like a certain time frame that he had to wait? I don't remember. But overall, I haven't heard anything about him. But Seiya Suzuki, a lot to like. This guy, really good numbers. Again, it's Japan. It's Japan, but I feel like when it comes to, you know, international leagues, Japan, they got talent over there. And he really succeeded. If you take a look at his numbers in 2021, overall, hit 319, had 38 home runs, had 88 RBIs. Look at the on base, a 436 on base. I mean, that's not too bad. I want to actually take a look here. Fangraphs. Let's go. Actually, no. Let's go back to those top 50 free agents. I believe Suzuki is on this. Yes, he's the number 34 free agent. So for 2022, I think these are good numbers. I mean, obviously, he's not going to put up those same numbers that he did in Japan. It's a different ball game over here. The pitching is way more advanced over here. But I could see anywhere like a 320, you know, 320 on base, 330. Now, you know, you got some guys who have come over from the KBO. You know, the KBO, the talent isn't as strong in the KBO as it is in Japan. So I could see where, you know, you're going to have, I think these are going to be pretty realistic if you ask me. Maybe not a 350 on base in the first year. Maybe something like a 320, 330. I could see something like 270, 280 average. You know, yeah, maybe around 20 home runs. I could see something like that. But there's a lot to like with him. I just think go watch some video on him. Jayla Jacobson, thank you so much. Or is it Gila? I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but thank you for subscribing. But yeah, Suzuki, there's a lot to like with him. I think you're going to see, you know, people have said when I've watched him, I see a lot of Hideki Matsui. I see from the right side of the plate, and he's got a good arm out there in the outfield as well. Now, what teams could you maybe see want to jump on a Seiya Suzuki? Projects as a right fielder, you know, could probably play left as well. So let's take a look here at some teams. Or actually, you know what? Let's go to the projected right fielders for next season. Let's go to the positional depth charts. Let's take a look at, let's just take a look at right field. So AT3510 has just subscribed. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. But if we go down to the bottom, the projections for next year, well, as of right now, you know, Tyler Naquin, you know, for the Reds, you know, he was on the IL, but he's gonna be fine. But could you see maybe the Reds jump on someone like him? You know, Castellanos. Who knows if he's coming back? I can maybe see something like that, possibly. Maybe the Pirates. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I think with his age, I believe he's 28. He's 27. So maybe that timeline, maybe he's ready to kind of play more for like a contender at this point, or a team that's pretty close to contending. Oh, we got a super chat. Philip Beasley, what is going on? Suzuki's highlights look impressive. Yeah, he's got a nice swing, good bat speed. I like Suzuki. I just like the highlights that I've seen as well, and good arm as well. Just really quick wrists. You got to like that. But what I like the most out of him is just a good eye. At least he's shown a good eye in Japan. Now, will he be able to keep that same plate discipline here in the States? We'll have to wait and see. But again, I could see, you know, anywhere from 320 all the way to a 350 on base. I could see something like that. But could maybe the Red Sox maybe do something with Seiya Suzuki? I don't know. Chaim Bloom, if he likes a player, he goes after him. We'll have to wait and see. Philip, thank you for the super chat, my friend. But let's go back to these positional depth charts here. Now, could you maybe see a team like the Pirates? Probably not. Probably not. Because, I mean, they don't really spend money. I would think with a well, actually, let me go back here. What are they thinking here for Suzuki? So thinking $40 million. You also have to pay the posting fee. I don't actually. Do they have that here? So okay, here are the details on that. So Major League Baseball or MLB trade rumors, they're projecting him $55 million over 5 years. So again, but there's also a posting fee. Any big league team that signs Suzuki would owe the Hiroshima Carp a fee equal to 20% of the contract's first $25 million, 17.5% of the next $25 million, and 15% of any dollars thereafter. So I remember that's how it was with Daisuke Matsuzaka. That's what a lot of people were talking about, like, oh, how much money are you going to have to pay, the posting fee. So it's going to be, so let's say he ended up signing for, let's say it was the 55. So 25 million, 20% of that, that's 5 million right there. Let's just say 50 million. So 5 million. And then if you do the other 25 million, 25 times 0.175. So you're probably looking anywhere around like 10 million for a posting fee. So that seems probably right. I could see anywhere from like 10 to 12 million you're going to have to pay the Hiroshima Carp in a posting fee. So that is something you got to keep in mind. It's not just the contract. You got to pay the Carp as well. So, but that's why I wonder if the Pirates are really going to be a team that gets in on that. I don't think so. Could you maybe see the Brewers get on that? They could definitely use some more pop. I don't know. The Rangers are a very intriguing team. I think the Rangers are a team where they've had experience with Japanese players. Yu Darvish, for example. So they do a lot of scouting out there. So the Rangers are a team, and they're looking to be aggressive. Could they be a team? Sure, you could definitely add another bat. Absolutely. Could you maybe see the Diamondbacks? And I know they got an outfield right now that's pretty much full, but David Peralta is always an injury risk. Pavin Smith, you could always put Pavin Smith at first base. Center field, you could have Varsho out there. I don't know, but maybe the Diamondbacks could maybe get involved. And there's also Ketel Marte. You could put him out in center. You could do a lot of things with the Diamondbacks. Maybe not the Rockies. The Royals, I think, are interesting. You got Kyle Isbell was okay last year, but I think you could have an upgrade. So I think the Cubs are an interesting team. I do. I think the Cubs are an interesting team. They're kind of in like this retool phase right now where I think they could make a move. I don't think they're going into a complete rebuild. I think they want to get back to being competitive in the next couple of seasons. They still have some decent players on that team. So the Cubs, I think, aren't as far away as you think. Maybe another year or two. But a Seiya Suzuki could be a good addition for the Cubs. Probably not the Padres. I think the Indians could maybe be interesting. Or, oh my God, I just said the Indians. Oh man. Everyone, this is gonna be difficult. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be saying the Indians all the time, and I'm not even gonna realize I can't believe I don't know how I even just caught myself saying it. Oh man, oh man. Can we just call them the Indians? I'm sorry, I can't. My brain, there's no way I'm gonna be able to do it. You guys know me. My brain is a potato anyway. How the heck am I gonna be able to get used to calling them the Guardians? Anyway, Tigers, maybe. Probably not. I think the Giants are interesting. I mean, you're losing some offense with Chris Bryant and Buster Posey. They got some wiggle room out there right now for left field. You have Lamont Wade Jr. Could you sign Suzuki and put him out in left? That's possible. Possibly, maybe. Blue Jays? Probably not. I mean, maybe the Blue Jays. Could you see the Blue Jays get on it? They're losing Semien. So maybe that's a route they could go. There's a lot of things you could do. Probably not the Angels. Probably not the White Sox. The White Sox. They could maybe use a guy out there and right, possibly. Maybe the Mets. Maybe. I don't know. If you're the Red Sox, I don't know. Hunter Renfroe, I really enjoyed him last year. I really did enjoy Hunter Renfroe last year. He was a really solid player. He really just kind of, I don't know. There were times where he just really did struggle. He went through stretches at times, especially in the postseason. He struggled to get on base. It just felt like he was just an out machine at one point. I mean, Philip Beasley, if you're still here, Philip Beasley, could you maybe see the Red Sox go after a Suzuki? Maybe. I don't know. Will they want to pay that posting fee? I don't know. It depends on what Bloom thinks of him. But I wouldn't count the Red Sox out. Probably not. If I were to lean one way, probably not. I don't know. But I feel like all these other teams, I think the Mariners could be fun. I know you got Haniger out there. I mean, could you have, I don't know. I mean, I know you got some guys there that can DH. Could you maybe move Haniger into the DH spot, put Suzuki in the, I don't know. The Mariners just sound like a fun fit. I know maybe that's a little lazy because you got the Ichiro connection, but I don't know. Whatever. It's fun. It's fun. But I think, I wonder if the Twins, there's a lot of spots. Either way, you're going to be looking at a Seiya Suzuki as a corner outfielder. Depending on how his range is, from what I've read, it seems to be pretty average. Seems to be fine. An American League team, or if they end up going with the universal DH, I think you could see him being a corner outfielder, DHing some days. So I'm interested to see. I always love when these guys from Japan or wherever, they get posted, and I don't know. I find it intriguing because I don't know. I just want to see what these guys can do over in the major leagues. So, but that is the story on that. He will be posted tomorrow, and hopefully a deal can get done. Hopefully, especially with these CBA talks. I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to be happening with these CBA talks? I haven't really seen any sort of an update at all besides what we read from last week. It's, maybe looking possible that we could be seeing maybe some kind of a lockout. So could the CBA talks affect that? I think if you go into a lockout, I don't know if anyone can confirm that. If they do go into a lockout, does that freeze his posting period? I would imagine it would. At least I would think. I mean, if teams can't do business, then I would imagine his window, it freezes, right? So at least that's what I'm thinking. But I'm very intrigued about Seiya Suzuki. So everyone, that's actually all the news I have for tonight, but I'm not done. So on this channel, I have memberships. So if you look at my home page, we have a join button there. And for just 99 cents, you can become a member. And one of the perks of being a member are Q&As for live shows. So the members, I posted a little something for my members to go ahead and ask me some questions. So here we go. This is the first live Q&A. So I'm just going to kind of go through these real quick. I got 9 questions here from the members. If any other members are here, make sure you're clicking on the community tab on the channel. That way you can get a question here. So, all right, I'm going to work my way down. Here we go. Showtime 1240. If you are the new commissioner of the league, what steps would you take to continue to grow the game for a younger audience? To be real, I mean, honestly, get the game out there. Stop doing all these dumb blackouts on the MLB TV or whatever. I mean, you can't. How are the kids going to see the game if they can't watch it? There's so many people out there where, unfortunately, just because of where they live, they can't see their own. Like, I think I've read like people that live in like St. Louis, because they're so close to Chicago or whatever. Like, and if they're a Chicago fan, they can't watch the Cubs and stuff like that. Or like people that live in Las Vegas, they don't have the cable provider for the A's for Oakland, but because they're in that designated area, they can't even watch the A's on MLB TV or whatever. So they can't get the cable to watch the A's, and they can't even watch it on MLB TV. So like, how are you going to have kids watch the game? You know, and also I think it's just, honestly, it's just pure advertising. You know, I was looking this up earlier, and I used to see this picture everywhere. I used to see, oh, whoa, we got a super chat. Oh, I'm so sorry. What is that? Oh, I don't know what that is. What to it is that? I forgot what the term is called. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for the super chat. I'm guessing is that Japanese? I'm so sorry. I wish I was more fluent in Japanese, but thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Really appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see some people in other countries tuning in. But oh yes, yen. Yes, thank you. But back to the question here. I mean, honestly, I used to see this picture everywhere. Everywhere. When I was in elementary school, I used to see this. It was on the walls in the cafeteria. I would see like, oh, who is this dude? This guy is tough looking. He's got a bat. He's got the milk mustache. I used to think like, wow, this makes me want to like, who is this guy? You know, I mean, well, as a kid, I knew who it was, but you know, to me, if you're seeing this, if you're seeing your players getting advertised like this, you know, it's gonna. You got to get the eyes on the product, you know, stuff like that. I think honestly, whatever you can do to get the kids more involved at games, I think it really just, you got to start with the youth. You know, you got to start with the youth. I think you got to keep doing what you're doing with trying to cut down on the game times. Unfortunately, I mean, I know a lot of traditionalists out there, you know, they like to say, you know, don't mess with the game time, blah, 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 you know, whatever. But honestly, I think when the game moves at a nice pace, I'm not saying the game needs to be an hour and a half long, but you can just tell when they're moving at a nice pace, you know, 3 hours and 15 minutes, that's a good time. You know, it just feels like you're not just like, there are some playoff games that we watched, and even though it's the playoffs, I'm not going to lie, some of those games were like putting me to sleep. Because some of these games are going like 4.5 hours this past postseason. I get it, it's postseason baseball, but you know, people they're gonna naturally just tune out, especially with the attention spans these days. I'm sorry, but I think you got to keep on, you know, keeping the flow of the game. You know, trying to improve it in any way you can. Maybe trying out pitch clocks. You know, doing the robo umps or whatever. Doing, you know, stuff like that. Just trying to keep the game going at a nice pace and just trying to advertise for these young fans and make the game viewable. You should be able to watch the game. So if you can't watch the game, then how are you going to get these, you know, how are you going to get it out there? So maybe you can do more with the MLB, you know, TV app. Maybe make it a little more, I find it to be a little busy personally, like especially on the phone. That's just me. You know, I think maybe if you can make the app a little more interactive. That's just my opinion, though. I have a potato for a brain, so take what I say with a grain of salt. But that's what I think. Anyway, but Showtime, thank you. Jesus Rodriguez, is the MLB collective bargaining moving forward towards an agreement, or are we getting a strike? You have two here. So I think we're going to see some kind of at least a couple of weeks. I feel like we're going to end up getting something like that. Hopefully not. I hope not. But I think we could see like a little bit of a lockout. What is your prediction on the Cubs? I think the Cubs are not going to go after like a huge name, but I think you could see them go after like a mid-tier, you know, mid to high tier kind of a guy, like someone like a Carlos Rodon, someone like a Seiya Suzuki, someone that's like a, you know, like a top free agent, but not like a mid or low free agent, somewhere that, you know, someone you could invest in for the next few seasons. I could see the Cubs doing something like that. I think they're in a bit of a retool mode. I don't think they're really in full-on rebuild. So they still got some talent on there, and that division, it's always up for grabs. So Aussie Craig, being in the era of the 10-year contract, is 10 years too long, and if teams learned nothing from the Pujols contract, reading is hard. I wouldn't give 10 years unless it's, someone like a Juan Soto, a Wander Franco, some like young guys. I don't want to give a guy that's 28 years old a 10-year contract because it never works out. Yeah, you're buying their good years. I don't know. I guess it really just depends. It depends. I would be more likely to give it to a position player, someone that you could maybe move to first base or something like that, where they can move positions. Like, if you're, a shortstop, can you move to third eventually? If that's when they get older, the, range usually starts to die down. I would be okay with someone like that, or someone that could even DH, towards the end of their career. But even then, that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to work out as well. Pujols with the Angels, like you said here. I'm not a big fan of the 10-year contracts. I personally don't think those huge contracts really when you look at the history of these big contracts, they tend not to really work out all that much. So a couple of players who have gotten big contracts, they've won a couple of championships, but overall, they tend not to work out too much. Seattle Town M's, who has been your favorite lesser-known Red Sox player in your time as a fan? Guys like Trot Nixon, Bill Miller. I loved Bill Miller. I actually really liked Bill Miller. I feel like that's a guy, back in when the Red Sox won in 2004, that guy had some huge moments. I mean, people remember when Dave Roberts stole that base. They remember that more than Bill Miller having the game-tying hit. They remember the walk-off home run from David Ortiz and the Dave Roberts steal. They don't remember Bill Miller actually tying up that game. Bill Miller, everyone remembers the Jason Varitek, Alex Rodriguez brawl. Bill Miller had the walk-off home run in that comeback win of a game. That you said back in 2004, that was like the game that turned it around for the Red Sox, where they kind of got their mojo a little bit. Bill Miller had the walk-off home run in that game off Mariano Rivera. And then he also, the game-tying hit in the playoffs with the Red Sox Yankees, Bill Miller got that hit off of Mariano Rivera. So Bill Miller, I would say, I feel like he doesn't get enough credit. I love Trot Nixon. That was one of my favorite players when I was growing up. So what are some other things you're passionate about other than baseball? I love powerlifting. I haven't competed now in like 4 years or so, but I used to do a lot of competitions for powerlifting. I still do train, I just did my heavy squats this past weekend, and my hip is always bugging me. My lower back is always cranky. My shoulders are always incredibly tight. Sometimes when I'm sitting here, I hide it pretty well, but there's times where I wiggle around a little bit. I don't know, and because my hips are getting tight, when I'm sitting down, I got to move around, I've been doing a lot of Uber lately, and there's times where I just have to pull over at a gas station or, and I got to fill up gas anyway, but I got to walk around because my hips just lock up on me. So yeah, powerlifting is a big passion of mine. I actually like cooking. I don't do it as much as I want to. But honestly, I like to eat, man. I like to eat. I love trying new places. I'm actually big on that. If I can go try out a new restaurant or whatever, I love doing that. I'm pretty easy to please, but, yeah, my big hobby is powerlifting. Just going to the gym, Franier, what's going on? If the Astros go for a shortstop, which would be the best option? I mean, personally with me, I like Jeremy Pena. I like, he's got a good glove. I think he has a bat that should translate well to the major league level. If they feel like he's not the guy, if he was the guy, I would say go after, a stopgap kind of a guy, an Andrelton Simmons, Freddie Galvis, something like that. Or go after, if you're not going to get Correa back, go after a Trevor Story. I think that would be a really good move. Kara Hightower, same question. I think, honestly, it depends on what you want to do with Pena. If Pena's your guy for the future, go after a stopgap. If not, if you don't think he's the guy, go after a Trevor Story. Could you get Trevor Story on a short-term deal? I probably think he's going to end up getting a longer-term deal, but I don't know. I think Trevor Story would be a nice pickup for them. I love this guy. I love the name. The Lonely Wolf Who Howls Alone at the Moon. If the Braves don't re-sign Freeman, what do you think they should do about first base? Good question. Very good question. Let's actually go take a look at their depth chart right now. Who do they have at first base on their depth chart? You have Johan Camargo. Interesting. I mean, I don't know, man. Let's see here. Let's go. Let's say Freddie Freeman signs somewhere. So Freddie Freeman's the number 5. Well, Brandon Belt, no. I mean, I don't know. Could you go after Anthony Rizzo? I mean, I think that could be something. You're replacing Freddie Freeman with an Anthony Rizzo. If we go take a look at the Braves' top prospects, didn't they just? I think they traded away a first base prospect, right? Yeah, they don't really have a guy down here. I mean, I don't know. Could you maybe put Langliers up there? I mean, no, I wouldn't. You got that's your long-term catcher. I wouldn't do it. I would think, honestly, just go after a free agent. Let me actually type in. Who are some other first base? Maybe like a Mitch Moreland. Something like that. I think Mitch Moreland's a free agent, right? First base. Yeah. You got other guys like Travis Shaw. And you got some guy. Maybe Ryan Zimmerman. You know? Reports are maybe that he wants to end up playing another year. I think y'all honestly just go after another free agent. I think Anthony Rizzo would be, it's basically a poor man's Freddie Freeman at this point. So, I don't know. Would you even say he's a poor man's Freddie Freeman? He's definitely not going to be as good as Freddie Freeman, but it's someone, So, I definitely think Freddie Freeman is your guy. But that is interesting. What route do you go if you aren't going to get, Freddie Freeman? Austin Thomas, what do you think the Cincinnati Reds will do? They need to add bullpen guys. I mean, every team always needs to add bullpen guys, but the Reds really do need to improve their bullpen. If I just go to their team really quick. The Reds. If you are just joining us, anyone, we're at the end of the show right now, but I'm just doing some member Q&As right now. So just in case you're just coming in and wondering what the heck we're doing. Where was I? Here we go. No, that wasn't it. Here we go. I think Luis Castillo, Maley, and Gray, I still do like that. And then you got some guys here for the back end. So, I think definitely bullpen. You got to add some guys to this bullpen. It was not good. Go after guys like Kirby Yates, Trevor Rosenthal. If you're really looking at trying to save some money, those guys were injured. I mean, I don't know when you're going to get Kirby Yates back, but if he's able to come back, halfway through the season, August, you probably won't go after Kirby Yates, but maybe a Trevor Rosenthal, something like that. I think Rosenthal will be a pretty good fit with the Reds. But yeah, I think you need bullpen arms. I think the Reds still have a pretty good team. Maybe go after, Naquin, as of right now, he's plugged in for right. He was okay last year, 270, 19 homers, 333 on base. He's 30 years old, though. I don't know. How long does he have on his deal? He's a free agent after this year. So, I don't know. I think Naquin's okay. Yeah, he's all right. I think the Reds go, maybe a start, you're not bringing back Wade Miley. I don't know. I mean, so here's the thing with the Reds. The one thing with the Reds is you got some guys down in the minor leagues. You got a couple of these guys here. You got Hunter Green. You got Nick Lodolo. I mean, these guys, I think right here, get these guys in the rotation. And that's why they probably thought Wade Miley they could get rid of, because they got these guys that are coming up. Lodolo had himself a really good year in 2021, 2.31 ERA over the 50 innings. He had 78 strikeouts over those 70 innings. That's not too shabby if you ask me. Hunter Green, this guy was nasty. AA had a 1.98 ERA. AAA had some growing pains, 14 starts, 4.13 ERA, ton of strikeouts. These guys are your future. So, but yeah, I think, I don't think you got to really do much. Maybe a bat. I think someone, I don't know, if you're going to be moving on from Castellanos, I don't know, maybe take a chance on a Seiya Suzuki. You know, go after someone for the back end of your rotation. You know, go after a good bullpen arm. You know, I think if you're the Reds, you don't have to go break the bank to have a competitive team out there because you already have some pretty good pieces. Last one. Do you think the Red Sox have a shot at Stroman? I think so, but I don't want Marcus Stroman. I don't like the I don't know. I think he brings more I don't know. That's just me. I just feel like he's just too outspoken. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I think sometimes he just does a little too much. You know, he says a little too much. I'm not a fan of it. I also just don't think his pitching would really work out. You know, the Red Sox infield, he's going to give up some ground balls for you. So, and the Red Sox just don't field the ball well. So if the Red Sox could add a good defensive option at second base, or if you go with Christian Arroyo, I think that's okay. But I don't know. I don't think Stroman's a great fit for the Red Sox. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Stroman. So, but my members, thank you so much for comments. But yeah, everyone, that is all I have for tonight. I want to thank you for stopping by tonight. Again, not too long of a show. Yeah, not really too long here. Also, I want to just show you really quick. Actually, how do I get here? So we actually do have a new video. I just posted it a couple of hours ago. Just a couple of hours ago. One MLB free agent each team should sign. Just posted that 4 hours ago. So if you have yet to see it, go check it out. If you're bored or whatever, you know, you want to watch something, well, there you go. That's the new video up on the channel. I'm going to be posting a couple of more videos in the next week. Look out for trades that I want to see. I'm going to be getting started on some MLB The Show rebuilds as well. The first one that I'm going to be doing, I've already done the Diamondbacks. If you haven't seen that, go check it out. But the first one that I'm going to be doing this offseason are the Detroit Tigers. So be on the lookout for that. But everyone, I want to thank you for stopping by tonight. It's always great seeing everyone coming in. Yeah, just talking some baseball. But have yourself a good night, everyone. I'll be back here tomorrow night, so be on the lookout for that. Have yourself a good night. Have a good day tomorrow, and I'll talk to you next time.